And Chase, you want to keep talking about how I'm from New York. Like that's supposed to mean anything. Let me tell you something that it could mean. You see, New York, it's a blue state. So Chase, I really, really hope for your sake you saved enough air to blow up those water wings. Let's all come together June 29th at AAPW and let's vote for Mayor Trevor Blue of Poundtown. And let's start making Poundtown great again.
So with election period going on in full swing all over the U.S., you can see from my garb that we are going full patriotic. And one election that comes to mind is for the mayor of Poundtown. And what better way to have a conversation with one of the candidates is Trevor Blue. And how are you on this fine evening?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
All right, awesome. So we'll go back from the beginning and growing up in New York. And what was life like growing up in Long Island in particular?
You know, going back as an adult is different than how it was as a kid. When I first, growing up, I guess from about till elementary school was good. And then I always had like personal issues there, like financial wise and stuff like that. I didn't have many friends for a while. It so that part was always hard. Financially, my family and I were always kind of struggling. There was a lot of times where we didn't have electricity, we didn't have cable, and for a lot of times that kind of became normal for us. Until we started getting older, the rest of my siblings and I, and then we all started working. I got my first job at 15. I worked in a pizzeria making $5 an hour. And I only worked I only worked twice a week. And but that was everything for me. So for a while it was, I don't look back on it too fondly. I love New York. I have a better appreciation for it now than I did when I was a kid, because now I have the freedom to do whatever I want.
What makes New York such a special place for you? Looking back at it.
Well, just the landscape in itself is so different. I was in Long Island, so you had beaches, but you also had your parks. You had the city not too far away. So you kind of had a mix of everything. If you drove out east, it would get more like spread out. Everybody had like bigger land up there. So it just kind of seemed like a little bit of everything. And you have your 4 seasons. And that was always nice. I never realized how much I missed having 4 seasons until I lived here for as long as I have.
And I was thinking about that too. What's the one thing that you would want to bring from New York to Poundtown?
The pizza.
Okay.
Poundtown pizza.
I mean, as you can tell, we're in the same front.
Poundtown pizza is terrible. I don't know what Chase is doing, but it's awful. It is not even pizza. My first ever boss, Joey, he told me that how you know a slice of pizza is good is if it can hold itself up. And I gotta tell you, Chase's pizza, it's the most flaccid pizza I've ever seen in my life.
Wow, so that's a hot take.
It's sad. It's honestly sad.
And I'm going to reverse the question. What's the one thing from Poundtown that you would like to bring back to New York?
Where do I start? I guess how to teach people a good way of pounding. I think that's
Okay.
one thing New York just doesn't get. You can't teach how to take someone to Pound Town greater than the people of Pound Town. I mean, that's the one thing that we know how to do there. And I think New York could benefit from that. I think everybody could benefit learning how to give a good old fashioned pounding.
And especially when you started moving, and it's interesting coming in from New York, going to Pound Town. What was the one thing that really drew your interest to moving over there in Pound Town?
You know, when I first met Chase and he started talking about Pound Town, it's easy for Pound Town to come off like a joke when you're looking at its mayor. Because that's really all he's been, is a joke. So at first you hear Pound Town and you look at him and you just want to laugh. I mean, I was laughing. I know a few people that support him, they were laughing. I mean, oh my God. But once you go and visit, it really opens your eyes. It really teaches you can't just judge a place off of one terrible, ugly, disgusting mayor. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people do that. So they miss a great opportunity to really see what Pound Town's about.
What are some of the positives? I know Chase has been the incumbent mayor for a while, especially from your perspective. Even with Chase being the incumbent mayor, what makes Pound Town still special despite having Chase as mayor? Is it the people? Is it the sights and sounds of the city? Like, what is that interest coming into when you moved into Pound Town?
Sorry, when I hear the name Chase Burdick, my brain just it wants to go somewhere else, but
For you, this is you in particular, and you even despite with what's going on at City Hall, what makes the city special to you?
Honestly, Pound Town's a beautiful place. It really is truly a special place to me. Now, it's rough right now. It's real rough, people. And we all know who's to blame. I don't have to keep saying it. We know whose fault it is. I will keep telling you, though, because I want everybody to know. But we have great people. We have great places to go. All right, we have a great mall. It's not doing so good right now, but once I'm mayor again, it will do so much better. It will be a great mall again. So we just have so many lovely places to take your families to teach them about the history of Pound Town. Pound Town isn't just for you and me, it's for everybody. And I really want people to see that.
And we're going to talk about, especially with your partnership with Chase. Of course, things have been eroding, but tell us about the beginning of how you and Chase started to meet.
Well, me and Chase, we started at AAPW together. We started refereeing. Now, Chase, he was already a ref for quite some time there. And I came along board a little after him. Now, I always pride myself in my refereeing. Chase, he's been a little shaky as a ref throughout his whole time. But one day, I had enough. I had enough of being pushed around. I no longer wanted to be the person counting the threes. I wanted to be the person getting the threes. So I retired my stripes. And sometime after that, Chase did the same thing. Maybe I inspired him a little bit. But we always kind of were passing by each other. And one day, I think both of us were just trying to look for some opportunity. And I think what brought us together is we felt like two people always having an opportunity pass by us, never getting a chance. And so you take two people who felt like they were never getting looked at, and they got put together. And we started winning. And we had a reaction. Was it the reaction we wanted? No. People didn't like us. That was fine. That was fine for me. So we were undefeated. And everything was going great. It was going amazing. Yeah, was I doing most of the work? Yeah. But, he was there at some points. He was, a tiny bit. But I think it's just two people who were tired of being underlooked.
And what makes Chase special as a partner from your perspective? What makes him such a special partner to have when you were undefeated with the Unpoundables?
I guess what makes Chase so special is that, well, he really has no brains at all. Not a single thought in that head. Which honestly helps out sometimes. Because he'll just charge in there. And sometimes it works. A lot of times it did not work. But sometimes it works. And to have a man like that, not afraid of anything, you could get a lot done. Whether it's him trying to get an opportunity and you're there to catch him when he falls, or if he just stumbles in to something.
And every undefeated streak always ends. Tell us what happened to that first loss with the Unpoundables. Tell us the match. Tell us what you're going through when you had that first loss.
We were this close to having those tag titles.
Can you tell us who you faced?
We faced, it was us versus NATO, Ethan Hunter and Mokele. And they were definitely our strongest competition. But even with that, even with their size and their speed, we were still close. And unfortunately, Chase, he just always needs to be in the spotlight. So he tried to help. And he hit me. And if he would have just minded his own business and stayed in his corner, maybe I could have done what I needed to get done. Because once I got hit, where was Chase? He got himself knocked out after striking me in the face. And I'm just supposed to forgive that? I'm supposed to forgive him for that? I mean, this man, while I was gone, tried to replace me more than once. I'm at home watching AAPW, and I see this person I've never heard of, Travis Cuddy, with Gucci, going to challenge for those tag titles. Not a call, not a phone call, not a text message, nothing. So you know what? I think Chase Burdick replaced me a long time before I broke up Unpoundables. And I think just that match, it was the final nail in the coffin for us.
And with the Unpoundables basically dissolved at that point, you had your call in politics in Poundtown. What's your motivation now that you're in this election? What were your first thoughts or motivations coming into this campaign?
Once I started teaming with Gucci, once I started teaming with Chase Burdick, I got to explore Poundtown. I got to see Poundtown like no one's ever seen Poundtown before. And I realized it is a great place. But you have a loser like Chase Burdick in charge. And now, I don't know about you, but if my mayor was always getting whooped around, always losing, not having a single win for his place that he calls home, I wouldn't want to go there. I wouldn't support that. So I realized having a loser like Chase Burdick is dragging Poundtown down. And you see it. People are losing jobs. They're becoming homeless. They're living in dumpsters. He has not fixed this. And he can't fix it because he keeps losing. And when you keep losing, you go nowhere. And so Poundtown has been going nowhere. And I am trying to do my best to fix it. I thought that I could fix it with the Unpoundables. I thought I could let him do his thing, sit on the sidelines, and help Poundtown that way. But he found a way to screw that up too. So I decided enough is enough. I'm going to go show them what a winner is. And I understand they've become accustomed to Chase. But what they don't understand is that he is ruining Poundtown. So if people would just vote for me, I am a man who wins. Chase Burdick, we had a tag match against each other. Him and Zeke Rose versus me and Lawrence. And yeah, last time I was in the ring with Zeke, he beat me. But we also had Chase as the referee. Now, Crooked Chase, we saw that I beat both of you together. So that just proves that without you corrupting the ring, I could beat both of you. And that's what I did. So it is you holding me back. It is you holding your people back. And I'm tired of that. So I am here to help make Poundtown great again because you don't know how to.
We're going to go back to another couple of things too. And we've had a series of debates leading up to the battle at the ballot on the Summer Spectacular at AAPW Arena on the 29th. Why go through the motion of throwing someone in the table just for a friendly conversation and a debate that Pops had originally wanted to plan during that event?
You're right. Papa Don, he wanted to be a friendly debate. I tried. I was not the one to start with the insults. I'm not the one printing the other one's face, sleeping, and showing it to the audience. I'm not the one saying that I'm dating dogs. I'm not the one talking about mental health like it's a joke. That's Chase Burdick. That is your mayor. So I tried to bite my tongue. I tried to keep it respectful. But a man has his limits. Chase, I tried. I tried my hardest. But to say what you said, to disrespect me the way you did, and to want to shake my hand after? Are you stupid? First off, you don't even wash your hands. Why would I want to touch you? So yeah. At first I thought maybe I was a little out of line. But I rewatched it. And I don't think I was. I think everything I did was justified. And I think people are just too soft nowadays. And I think it shows you that the reactions I got shows you the people who have never been punched in the face before. Now, your actions have consequences. And unfortunately, that was the consequence. So no, I don't think I went too far. I think everything I did was justified. I think I proved the point that I needed to prove.
So, with every campaign, there will always be endorsements to help the candidates really bring in the ballots during the election. Chase has had his share of endorsements, and we'll include some in the list, which include Travis Cuddy, with Luigi Primo, and with Eric Bador. And with your list of endorsements, if you can name them, what can they do to bring your campaign a bit more impact to the voters here in Poundtown?
Now, I have some great endorsements from some very great people. We got Big Plo, another great man in politics, who honestly, he has taught me a lot. He has told me a lot. And honestly, I don't know if I'd be as great of a politician if it wasn't for him. We have Mia Friday. Started training at 15 years old. Before she was even 18, she was already in Japan wrestling. An international star. Next, we got Corey Constantine. I mean, look at this man. This is a guy who can get stuff done. Seeing him for the first time, I knew that one day I needed to talk to this man about some business. And when I saw him whip Alex Arsenal around, I knew I had to talk to him about this campaign and let him know how important Pound Town was to me. Now he said I owe him, and I don't really know what that means, but that'll come when that comes.
Okay.
Last but not least, this one's very, very special to me. The FBI, the full-blooded Italians, they got permission from the great little Guido to endorse Pound Town. Now, I cherish my family. While they're all the way in New York, they're still here in my heart. So, Chase, go ahead. Pay for your endorsements. Go and ask people, beg people who don't give a damn about you to give you a little endorsement. Go wander around parking lots until you find yourself a guy who's just a little bit evil. But it's not going to do anything for you. Because at the end of the day, you are still a loser.
Now, my question with your endorsements is some of them have had some form of violent streak. And you mentioned Corey Constantine taking down Alex Arsenal. And with that streak and coming from those endorsements, I wouldn't say it's questionable, but I just wanted to something to bring up with what they're doing in the ring. What can they do, especially with the campaign going on at full swing and with all these endorsements? What makes these endorsements going to be more impactful coming into it? And it's not a question. It's just something I thought of when we were having those endorsements down the line.
What can my endorsements do? They all know how to get stuff done. And now, you want to talk about Corey Constantine is a little violent, little mean, little nasty. That's exactly what I love about him. He just goes in there and he does what he has to do. And people boo this man. Did we forget? This is wrestling. We are here to watch two men completely pulverize each other. And I'm sorry that Corey Constantine is just a little bit better at that. But you know, seeing how people reacted to when I punched Chase and his big, ugly forehead, it's no surprise that people want to question my endorsements, one being Corey Constantine, when that is just another man who knows how to stand up for himself. And he doesn't take anything from anybody. And that's what I like. Now, he is a great man. And if you want to judge him on that, you are missing out, people. Now, I am not a big fan of that mohawk, but it's a give and take, you know? So, we'll just a bunch of positives besides that, but just a bunch of great positives about the guy.
Okay, but that is an interesting point to bring up, and we're close to wrapping up. And with the Summer Spectacular, which is still going to be held at the AAPW Arena on June 29th, tickets will still be available, but the ballots are still wide open. And first of all, thank you so much for having you on, Trevor, for having the time to talk about your side of the campaign for the mayor of Poundtown. And I want to ask this. you have the floor with this entire remaining time we have in this episode. What can you do to bring in the voters and to bring Pound Town back to what you think is relevant? And what can you do to bring these ballots during the election?
Now, that is a great question. See, nobody wants to root for a loser. And that is all that Chase Burdick has been. That is all he ever will be. That is a man who will dish out insults, but has a glass jaw. And Chase, you want to keep talking about how I'm from New York. Like that's supposed to mean anything. Let me tell you something that it could mean. You see, New York, it's a blue state. So Chase, I really, really hope for your sake you saved enough air to blow up those water wings. Because once this blue wave rides over you, you're not going to have any air left to breathe. And you are going to drown. And you are going to be forgotten. And I would like to apologize for that in advance. But I don't care. I don't care what happens to you after this election. If I have my way, you're going to be put behind bars for a very long time.
That's a
So
bold
people,
claim.
please do the right thing. Let's all come together June 29th at AAPW. Let's vote for Mayor Trevor Blue of Poundtown. And let's start making Poundtown great again.
Okay. That's a very interesting thing to brought up. Blue, you have something on your pants. Yeah.
Hey, cut that! Cut the camera! Hey!